Welcome back, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel Techie Amrit. So we are back again with a new topic and new session in our cloud Azure series, that is how we going to create and consume our Azure functions from ASP.NET Core application. So guys, the one question that comes to an everybody mind, that if I don't have any Azure account, I don't have any serverless environment, how I'm going to create my Azure function and how I'm going to test it uh, locally using ASP.NET Core or using any like API testing tool, right? So I will show you both methods. So let's jump to the Visual Studio and let's create a Azure function. Okay, so guys, here I have just created a normal, you would say, a solution in which I have just added a one Azure function. I will show you how you're going to add this. You have to click the solution, add, new Azure function, right? I just simply clicked this Azure function. You have to rename whatever you want to name, like Techie Amrit function, or whatever the function you want to create, right? When you click add, you will have lots of option with us, different kind of functions. I've been choosing HTTP trigger, and this is the authorization level function, anonymous and admin. I am choosing the function. Once I choose and I click OK, I have already created a one function for you. So this is like a leave request function where I've just created a class with 4 properties. This is my primary key, right? This is my name, from, and to. I have just taken any random 4 properties, right? Now this is the main function that I have created. So in this function, when the function would be created, this is my function name I have given. This is my run method that would be executed whenever any input request is triggered to this method, right? So authorization level, as you can see, I've set function. So simply whenever user give any input, I'm reading the body, reading the body of this request, and I'm going to deserialize, and I'm simply looping the employee ID 4 times and return back to the consumer, right? So this is our producer function, or you say HTTP trigger function. As you have seen, I just simply take a list of this leave request, right? And I declared this as empty. Now what I am doing here, simply I am just reading the request body here, right? And I'm just deserializing my body, and once, if data in the body is not null, then I'm simply just looping 4 times, looping the leave request 4 times, in which I'm just randomly creating employee ID, name, and you would say the from and to. I'm just adding whatever you want to add. I'm just showing you the dummy result, how when we hit, and you will see that. So if some unusual thing happened, then I'm just returning a bad request. Please pass an employee ID in the request body, right? So this is the normal data function created. Now the thing is that the function is created. Now how we can test it before I jump into my ASP.NET Core application, or before I consume this, right? So simply go to Solution Explorer, right click on this application, debug, start a new instance. So it is now running. So this is our URL. I'm copying this URL. Now our function is running, so I just copy this function. I'm going to Postman. If I have chosen the post request, if I directly push send, so as you can see, please pass an employee ID in the request body. So I haven't done anything, so you can see, so this message came into this result function, right? So we have to test what will be the result. So what I will do, employee ID. Let me check. Okay, so this is the parameter, this is the body and raw function we have sent. Okay guys, so you have seen we have employee body 10, ID, name 1, and from and two other random dates that have generated. So this is how, so our function is working. So whenever the time you hit this button, you can see here this function would be executed. As you can see, the new request, the number of times you hit the execution of the function, you are able to see here, right? So this is the simple way that our function is working. Now it's time to see that how to consume this in our in ASP.NET Core application. I simply added one core application, right, in which I just I'm just getting the result from the function and showing to the user. So before we proceed, okay, so this is the Azure function URL that I have set in my app setting.json, right? So this is the URL which we are going to send the request. So I'm reading the URL. Here is the employee ID that the user will be going to add from the UI, and I'm sending the client request, HTTP client request. I created the object, I created the request URL. Now it's time to create the content type. Content type is the you would say the application JSON. So this is the normal method that we have created to just create the HTTP content, right? So now when we send the request, here we are sending the request, and once we send the request, now I can show you both ways. I will put a debug so that you can see how our application will work. I put the breakpoint in my function, and here I just put the break mark here. So once I run my application, debug, start new instance, alright, so this is a UI that I have created. Now I will enter 4, I push submit, you will see the 4 is coming. Now the URL is this, you can see, right? So the content we have is 4. Now the URL, we are making the post request. Now we go to here, our HTTP content, we are sending the serialized JSON content encoding, right? And header type, we have added the required parameters like application.json. So we are ready with both. Now we simply send the request, right? When we hit this, it will go to our Azure function, HTTP trigger Azure function. Think we need to restart our function. Let's debug, start new instance, run our application. Now I hit the submit button. Okay, so here you can see we are entered in our Azure function. You will see in the request body we have employee ID with 4. So we have 4, so now it will like loop it by 4 times, and we press F5. As you can see, the function is executed now, right? It is succeeded with this ID, and it takes the duration. You can the logs also to check the execution. Now you can see the output is printed. So guys, this is how we are going to create that. We have created our Azure function and consume our Azure function in the ASP.NET Core application. Hope you like the video. Thank you. Keep watching my video and subscribing and sharing my channel. Thank you. Bye.